मैडम तो ये बोले थे वही दिया
Okay, please confirm whether screen is visible to you all or not.
Visible, sir.
Okay. So, very good afternoon to one and all. So, as you all know me, so there is no need of introduction. Okay. So, still, I'll just introduce a subject with you. So, for the last year, there is elective, and as you all selected from the elective one, high voltage engineering. Okay, so that subject has a point to me, and we are going to deal with these subjects for the next this semester. The subjects what are we are going to understand that we will see. Okay, so before that, let me show you the syllabus structure for the this subject. So yeah, as all of you are aware about the other subjects like IDC, power system, and operation control, renewable energy sources, engineering protection. So like that way, elective one, which having around a three lectures per week, but as we have bulk of lectures in a week, and also it has a one tutorial. So total overall credit will be the four, and it has as a examination scheme, it has a total 100 marks. Out of that, 30 marks will be distributed to the internal semester examination exam, and even 70 marks exam will be for the exam examination. And there is internal continuous assessment 25 marks, that means in your language that is known as a term work. Okay, so like that way, total marks for our subject is around 125. Okay, so this is all about our syllabus structure. I hope you are clear with that. If you have any doubt, you can interrupt me at any time. So let me show you the syllabus for the section 1, section 2. So first of all, as you have to understand that there is a total 6 units. Out of that, 3 units involved in a section 1, and section 2 have another 3 units. So in that already I think you have understood the electromagnetic engineering, right? So some of the concepts from that can introduce high voltage engineering. So as an electrical engineer, you must understand what is all that things. Okay. So that is why this subject is involved in the your last year syllabus structure, right? The next thing that is we'll discuss about what points, what things we are going to understand. So in section 1, electrostatic field is the first unit. In that we will understand what is the electrostatic stresses, then types of insulator, and what are the mediums for that. That means what are the mediums used in an insulator. Okay. Then what is the liquid breakdown, solid breakdown, installation and control of electric stresses. So all that things we will understand in the first unit. The second unit is a conduction and breakdown in the gases. So, like as we know that in the most of the insulators, gases are used as insulating medium. So, how it will get ionized? So, that ionization process we will see. Then there is a Townsend's gravitation as well as the some of the criterions are there for the breakdown. Also, we will go for the partial law. Many of you have listened that word partial. I think in 7th, 8th standard also that time we had understood that partial. Then also, what is the corona discharges? Corona in terms of our electrical term. Okay. So then after the breakdown, what will happen? What is the applications and what are the major practical consideration while there is a gases used for the insulation purposes. So that all covered in the unit number 3. Then majorly in unit number 3, there is again we can see the breakdown thing. But as in second unit we had seen only the breakdown for gases, but in case of third unit we will see the breakdown for the liquid as well as solid electron, solid dielectric, right? So again here there is a pure liquid, impure liquid. So how this conduction and breakdown takes place, all that things will be mentioned in that thing. Okay. Then also then we can say there is again as a solid as well as a liquid things are there. So electromechanical breakdown is there, then thermal breakdown is there. So how these composite installations takes place during the breakdown. So which solid dielectric materials can be used in practices, that all things you will understand in the number of third chapter. The section 2 contains another three units that involves the generation and measurement of high voltage and currents. So how this HVDC, HVAC takes place, then how these impulse currents are generated, then that high current, high DC current, high AC current, how we can measure that. Also how the CRO can be used for the capture the impulse voltage and current quantities. Right? So this is the all basic things, and it is going to have a lot of fun while we are going to understand that things. That time it will make us more knowledgeable. Okay. So just do not miss a single lecture. In the fifth unit, there is a high voltage testing. Okay, so means whatever we are understanding in the 4 unit, that is we are going to test in the unit number 5. So like testing of circuit breaker, testing of the cable. So what parameters we have to check, how to test the transformer. So if suppose you have placed in a core electrical company of a transformers, and somebody of your boss has told you, sir, so go for the test of a transformer. So then what parameters, which terminals you have to consider while testing a transformer? Either anywhere any one of you has placed for the company which is installing or manufacturing some units, and at that time if suppose they ask you to select the cables for the particular application, then how you could select the cables, and how you will select as well as how you will test the cables, and then you will come to know whether it is a working properly or not, right? So like that way we will just make a testings in unit number 5. The last and very interesting part, or we can say the chapter, that is design, planning, and layout of high voltage laboratory. Right. So in that case, we are just planning to develop the higher voltage laboratory, and whatever the activities and studies we are considering, that will be here. We can see. So there may be a classifications, there may be a size and rating of the equipments which are used in it, electrical laboratories, and as well as what is the grounding mechanism. We can say the earthing mechanism. Right? So, so these all things we are going to understand in it. We need all these 6 units. Okay. So as I told you, there is one announcement. As I think everyone is aware, I had shared one link of Google Classroom. Okay, so whatever the study material will be there, I will just upload in this Google Classroom, and the lecture links as well as lecture information notifications will be shared through only Google Classroom. Okay, whatever your objective tests are there, that is also conducted through Google Classroom. Okay, so currently only 39 students has been just joined that Google Classroom group class. Okay, so all are requested. Those who have not joined, I had sent this link in your chat box also. So you have to download Google Classroom from the Google Play Store. You have to log in with college mail ID. Other mail ID will not be allowed. And then second thing, you have to go for the joint classes, and in that you will be asked by a code. That time you have to place the code whatever I had shared with you. Okay, so this is the simple Am I audible? Shantanu, Shraddha, Snehal, am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. At least if someone asks you two or three or four times, then just take efforts to unmute yourself and just make confirmation. Okay. So fine. Let us go for the first unit, and that first unit, as I told you, it is about the electrostatic field. So first thing, that is the electric field. Okay. So who will tell me what is meant by electric field? If you are not able to speak, you can just post into the chat box also. But it will be effective if you will answer me through the you unmuting your mic. Yes. Anyone, can you tell me what is meant by electric field? Yes, Gayatri. Yes, anyone? Okay, fine. So let me tell you what is meant by electric field first. Okay, so let me take a concept that electric field. You are a last year students, but still not aware about the electric field. Okay, so the electric field means what? Electric field means an actual thing where you can say there is a physical field which is surrounded by electrical, or we can say which is surrounded electrically with the charged particles, and the charged particles can exert a force on other bodies, right? It will exert force on other bodies. So first of all, that electrical fields will be originate from the electrical charges. That means by the time varying magnetic fields we can consider. So that electric as well as magnetic field both are combined, and then you will understand the electromagnetic, right? Electric field plus magnetic field, then it will become electromagnetic, right? And already you have understood the electromagnetic. Okay, so that electric field mainly noted by the E, and the unit for that is nothing but what? It is a volt per meter. Okay, that can be measured, or its SI unit is nothing but what? V by, and that means volt per meter. So we can say the electric fields are important in various areas like electromagnetic engineering, electronics engineering, electrical engineering, as well as physics. Okay, so we can say that electric field of any point, and we can say, suppose this is the point, this is the plus point. Okay, as I told you, that is the charge. Okay, so that means it will just exert somewhere, it will just exert somewhere. What it will does, it will just exert force on somewhere. Okay, so that is the electric charge, we can say that is the electrical field. Okay, so now in electrostatic fields we have to understand in electrostatic field. Suppose there is a positive and negative charge. If suppose I will say there is a positive charge, there is a negative charge. Okay, so what will happen? So first of all, electrostatic field means you should understand. Electrostatic field means it is a uh, electric fields. It is a electric fields which do not changes with the time. What I said, electrostatic field means a electric field which do not change with the time. So you will ask me, sir, whether these fields will be present. So that systems are stationary, we can say that is stationary, and when their current is unchanged. So in that case, we can say that electrostatic charge. Suppose this is the positive particle, this is the negative particle. So as we know that this will exert, okay, this will exert the force like that way, okay, and this will insert. That means it will absorb. It will absorb. So force will be absorbed to the negative. Okay, so like that way we can say, okay, it can be like that way. So this force will be exerted from the positive and just inserted to the negative. Okay, so how it can be calculated? So as we know that due to the Coulomb's law, suppose there is a Q and there is a Q dash charge. Okay, there is a Q and Q dash charge. Then we know that 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, that is nothing but what? Permeability into Q divided by R square. Right? Means what? This Q is nothing but what? The difference between these two. This R is nothing but distance between these two. Okay. So that is the electrostatic field. Right? So in here, why this electrostatic field is necessary? So as we know that, first of all, we will just start a little bit introduction about the our high voltage engineering. And then first thing that is about the high voltage. So whether these high voltages are necessary, whether we use the high voltages, is it really necessary? So we will fall back towards the variety of applications which can be used in a power system, which can be used in an industry, which can be used in a laboratories. So where high voltages is used. So why this research laboratory industry power system necessary? Because to become a sustainable modern civilization, that all the applications are necessary, and if these applications are necessary, then we will require high voltage. Then we will require high voltage. So now for the transmission of power from the generating station to the distribution point or customer end, whether we will transfer high voltage or low voltage, this is the question. Tell me. When we will just transfer power from one place to another, which type of what will be the size of power? What will it be the high voltage or may it be low voltage? Just tell me. It is always high voltage, right? Because we know that 440 volt, 11 kV, 33 kV, 132 kV, okay, 400 kV. So like that way, we just use around the 100 kilovolt for the, or we can say 100 kV for the electrostatic precipitation. Then whatever the modern high voltage test laboratories that are employed, their voltage is around 6 MV. Okay, that is about 6 MV. So what is the use of that? Because that are used to necessitate careful design of the insulation as well as electrostatic field profiles. So this is the about the high voltage applications. Again, the as we know that insulation means what? That is the bad conductor of the electricity. So which are that? They may be a gases, they may be a vacuum, they may be a solid, they may be a liquid, or they may be a combination of all these all these materials. So if we want to achieve the reliability and economy, then the most important is that the causes of deterioration. Causes of deterioration. So whenever we have to increase the voltage space for the optimum design calls for the judicious selection of insulation, that time we need to consider about the dielectric strength, because this is a major parameter which will be many times you will face this parameter, that is the dielectric strength. And second is the corona discharges. Okay, so these are the all materials. Okay, so based on this we can say there is a importance of the high voltage. So what we will understand in this chapter? In this chapter, we will understand various principles which are used in the high voltage technology. Okay. So if you want to write some notes from this, you just write it down. Whatever points I have made bold, you can just write it down. Then once you just put it down the main points, just let me know. Okay, or done. Okay, fine. I understand that you are not responding. Fine. So now we will come back to the electrostatic stresses. Okay, so that is our unit. Okay. So in this case, we'll just see in electrostatic stresses. So now the word you have cleared. What is meant by electrostatic? Electrostatic means which will not change. Okay, it means it is not changing. So like uh, as we know that if suppose we'll go for the mechanical design, at that time we know there is some criteria for the design which are depends on the strength. Which kind of strength means suppose you are going for the any kind of mechanical construction. So like that time the pole, then the tensile strength, okay, all that, then flexibility. So all that strength you have to understand. So also there may be a stresses. Suppose there is a one pole and above that pole there is a slab. Then there is a stress on this pole. So how much it can bear a weight, that is also important thing. So also in case of our high voltage engineering or high voltage applications, dielectric strength of insulating materials and the electric field stresses developed when the subjected to high voltages are important factors in high voltage system. Which are these two important factors? Dielectric strength of insulating material and electric field stresses. Okay, so whenever we will consider any kind of high voltage apparatus, at that time whatever the material used for that means a conductor, means a insulator. So the important parameters for that conductors as well as insulators is nothing but what? The dielectric strength of insulating material and the electric field stresses. Okay. So now, while whenever the current will flow through the conductors, at that time the insulators will the prevent flow of currents in an undesired path. Means suppose there is a conductor and suppose current is flowing through this. Okay, but this is an insulator. So this is a conductor because it has a property to flow the current or flow the electrons. That is why it is a conductor. But this will resist to flow. What it will does? That insulator will resist your current to flow through this wire or this any material. So this is known as a insulator, whereas it is known as a conductor, right? So this is the major difference. So whenever our conductor carries the current, then insulator will oppose to flow of current. Okay. So whatever the electric stress is there, that is always subjected to the insulating material. So if suppose we will consider a numerically, then we know that the whatever insulating material, the electrical field intensity is there, that is equal to minus delta into phi. So this phi is nothing but your voltage, this delta is nothing but is. Then again the equation for the delta is there. We can calculate that by using the equation ax dou by dou x plus ay dou y plus az dou by dou z. So these are the all these components ax, ay, az. That is the components of the vector. So these are already we know that in numeric NMLA also you had learned that r is equal to ax is into x plus ay y plus az z. So these are the various numerical equations for the phi. So here you will understand this E stands for the field intensity. That is always depends on, or that is we can say it is always proportional in reverse direction to the this delta, or we can say to the fluxes. Okay. So if still this moment, if anyone having any doubt, just please let me know so I can clear more on it. Okay. If not, just we will go forward. Okay. Now, I'll take you to the next level, that is about the again electrostatic stresses. So as I already told you, in case of the high voltage apparatus, important thing is insulation. So whatever the dielectric strength of this insulating material, that is defined as the maximum dielectric stress. What is meant by maximum dielectric stress? The maximum dielectric stress is nothing but what? The dielectric strength of an insulating material. Also we can say that is the voltage when our current will start to increase very high value, unless and until controlled by an external impedance circuit. Means what? Means until and unless we will control our current with the other external impedances, our current will start to increase at the voltage level. That level is known as a maximum dielectric strength. So whatever the electric breakdown, we are talking about the electric breakdown. So electric breakdown means what? Simple. If suppose there is a one rod of iron, and if suppose it is cut by this side, and you are hammering on it, so there is a limit of this rod. After 5 or 10 hammers, this will cut. Some of the iron will cut after 20 hammers. So that is nothing but what? It is a breakdown of this rod. So like that way, in our term, in our field, electric breakdown strength of insulating materials depends on a pressure. That means how much pressure we are applying, what is the temperature of that time, humidity, then field configuration, what kind of voltage is applied, what are the dielectric materials imperfections, then which kind of material is used for the electrodes, then what is the condition for the electrodes. So that is the all parameters which we have to take into consideration while we are going for the electric breakdown, or we are going for to analyze what is the breakdown strength. So if suppose we will understand the failure of insulation, that is possible only with the mechanism, that is whenever there is a presence of discharge within a voids in the insulation. So we can say over the surface of insulation, if there is any presence of discharges, that means failure of insulation. So now you will have a question. Let me clear. If suppose this is a wire, okay, this is the wire, right, and this is a conductor. So that means this is the material of the, we can say this is the thin wire or thin material. We can say here copper material. Okay, and this wire, it is having a multiple layers. Okay, like a sheeting is there, then there is a plating, and then there is a mating, all that things. So that means, as you know that as in domestic there is a wire which having a rubber out its outside. Okay, so now this outside of this wire is nothing but what? It is an insulation. If suppose we will catch this wire, then you will get a shock. That means what? That means current is flowing outside this wire. That means when current will flow outside the wire, when your insulation get failure, when your insulation get failure, and then and only then that time your current will come out of the wire. That means there is a failure of a insulation. That is a failure of insulation. Please keep in mind. Okay. Then we'll come to the next point, that is about the that is about the probability. So if suppose, what will be the probability of failure of these devices or of these installations? So that failure we can reduce if the whatever discharges are there. So now you will totally clear about what is I am telling to the discharge. Discharge means what? Discharge means leak, current leakage. That is means a discharge. Okay. So if whatever such kind of discharges are there, if we will be able to eliminate that kind of discharges at a normal working voltage, then this kind of failure can be reduced. That can be reduced. But suppose if that cannot be reduced, then what will happen? That failure may burn your total wire. That may clear, that may damage your wire as thermally as well as electrochemically with deterioration. Right. So this is effect of the stresses. Means what? Means suppose there is a one pipe which is carrying a water, and if suppose the pressure from this side is maximum, that means what happen? That pipe may get break at some this point whenever the water pressure is more. Okay, suppose this is a 2-inch pipe, and suppose we are allowing water around a 5-inch. That means beyond the capacity we are applying the water to this pipe. That means it may damage at somewhere, and it may discharge some water. So suppose the water get discharged, that means what happens? That means the failure of the ability to hold the water of this pipe. Okay, so that is the simple, we can say. Similarly we can think about the wire. Okay, suppose this is a wire and there is a conductor. So if suppose unfortunately that that current get leakage, or we can say that is going to discharge from this wire, that means what happens? That means it is going to discharge, or it may damage our wire thermally as well as electromechanically. Okay, so this is all about the electrostatic stresses. Okay, now let me check. Fine. So this is all about the electrostatic stresses. So this is our first lecture. So only the introduction part I had taken today. So for the next lecture, where we go, that time we will understand what is the gas vacuum, as how the gas vacuum is used as an insulator, or we can say how this is used as a medium for the insulator. Then next we will see what is the liquid breakdown, what is the solid breakdown. Okay. Then also we will see the estimation and control of these all electric stresses, and how the surge voltages and their distribution as well as their control we will see in coming lectures. Okay. So till here in this basic introduction part, if suppose anyone having any doubts, please let me know. Anyone, any doubt? Is there any doubt? I'm asking to you all of. Okay. I'm asking to you all. Is there any doubt? Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
So, yes. So, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Just how many of you have not enrolled in a Google Classroom? How many of you just you can raise your hands? Okay, Shraddha is only there. 39 people are there. So those who are not there, just I have shared into the group. Okay. Just a second. I'm sharing a attendance link for you. Okay, I'm sharing a link into a chat box. Okay, so I can understand who is giving replies. So try to give only your attendance. Okay, if you caught to be making a uh, another's attendance, then you will be punished, and that I'll not share with you. Okay, so what will be that punishment? You have to face HOD. So I'm sharing a link. You just fill that form. Okay, fine.